Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya, apir maheti, yuktaya dakshinamudam, enamam ahitya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Light us through and through, and guide us evermore with thy loving presence. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. It is a privilege this morning to have with us Swami Gokulananda Maharaj, who's doing a very quick tour of our centers in the United States from his post as the Swami in charge of our center in New Delhi, India. I found out yesterday when Swami came in from Kansas City, the gentleman that went with me to pick up Swami Gokulananda happened to start his time in one of our student hostels in Calcutta the same year that Swami Gokulananda became a monk and stationed at that particular hostel, which was 1954. Swami has been a monk for 50 years now. He's one of the senior respected monks of our order at one of the important centers in India. He spent part of his monastic life in the Kashi Hills in the tribal area of India. For the last 18 years, he's been in charge of our New Delhi Center, which is a very vital, bustling, and yet peaceful oasis of tranquility of 6 acres within the very busy, congested city of New Delhi. And as Swami noted this morning at breakfast, he was looking through our albums and seeing the pictures of the New Delhi Center as it was when Swami Gokulananda, who founded this center, was stationed there in the early 30s. And as he was looking at that picture of the temple of the grounds in New Delhi, a phone call came from him from New Delhi, and he was sitting and staying in the room where Swami Gokulananda lived and died. So there are a lot of threads that come into play here. Over the years, many of the last 18 years, many of us have visited India, and most of us who visited India have also had occasion to at least visit the New Delhi Center, if not stay there. And we know from experience what a loving, gracious host Swami Gokulananda is, and it's a pleasure to have a little bit of an opportunity to repay that hospitality, although his visit is much too short. And the other regret I have is that during his visit, Swami Chaitananda couldn't be here to enjoy it as well, but happens to be in India right now. Anyway, without taking any more time, Swami Gokulananda will speak to us this morning on universal motherhood.
Thank you very much, Brother Nispavanandaji, dear devotees and friends. At the outset, I would like to express my very sincere gratitude to the present minister of the center, who happens to be now in Delhi, beloved Brother Ketunanandaji. Well, my visit to the United States this time was at the invitation of our Washington DC Center, and which was endorsed by Sahanandaji of Hollywood Center. Every year they conduct annual retreat and they send an email. We want you this year. If you agree, please let us know at your earliest. We accepted their invitation, but as I could never come to this beautiful center, I made it a point that in my program of visiting different centers, cancers and this should find a place, and that is how I am here. Well, when I informed Chetunanandaji, his email was very affectionate and sweet. He said that even though Gokulananda, I will not be there when you will visit our center, 3 times he wrote, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Nishpavanand will be there, Kansas City also you will visit. As our Swamiji told you right now, that I come from a center where revered Satprakashanandaji, who gave the best part of his life for this center, he was the head of Delhi Center. I have a full list. Present President of Ramakrishna Mission, revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, was the head of Delhi Center. Swami Bandhananandaji was also the head of Delhi Center, like that. Last evening when I came, I requested the Swami to give me old albums. I was going through all the albums which have been kept very carefully. And as he rightly said, that I was going through 2-3 pages where Satprakashanandaji kept the photos of Delhi temple. Well, I come back to my point. The topic that has been announced is universal motherhood. As devotees, you must be knowing that this year happens to be a very, very significant year. Why? Because the whole world has been celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of Ma Sarada. Every center has been doing this. We also did it in our own way. So it is quite in the fitness of things that this topic has been given to me. And I begin my talk by referring to a letter that was written by one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna or Sasi Maharaj, to a devotee in Bangalore. You know that Swami Ramakrishna, when Sarada Devi was alive, he took mother to different parts of South India. And when Holy Mother Sarada Devi came to Bangalore Ashram, Ramakrishna wrote a letter from Madras, Chennai, to his devotee. And I quote, "You should never lose this very rare and unexpected opportunity to worship the motherhood of God in Holy Mother. She is universal mother, your real mother. It is so fortunate that you are to have the mother of the universe at your very door." Now, what is exactly meant by the word universal any quality or aspect applicable to the people of things of the entire world. If we carefully study the life of Sarada Devi, we will find that Sarada Devi, through her own life and by her various utterances, demonstrated to the world what the universal motherhood would imply. She virtually lived as a universal mother. To quote Mother again, Mother once said, "I am the mother of the virtuous, I am the mother of the wicked. I am the mother of the good, I am the mother of the bad. Whoever addresses me as a mother, I am his or her mother. I am the mother of all." Recently, in Delhi Center, as a part of the year-long 158th birth anniversary celebration of Holy Mother Sarada Devi, we organized a program in TV. And in that program, I had a dialogue with 4 young girls representing different communities. One girl from Himachal Pradesh in India referred to this saying of mother. She said, "I am the mother of the virtuous, mother of the wicked, mother of the good, and mother of the world." And whatever was done in Delhi Television Center, we got it done in a prime time, and it was telecast throughout India. Christopher Isherwood has a very important book, and some of you must have read, Sri Ramakrishna and his disciples. In the very beginning of the book, Christopher Isherwood, while speaking to Ramakrishna, said, "Ramakrishna is a phenomenon." A beautiful coinage. Ramakrishna is a phenomenon. Talking of Sarada Devi also, we can say, the ideal of the mother of all is indeed a new spiritual phenomenon in the entire world. Now, what are the characteristics we expect in a mother? There are mothers, many mothers present here before me. Does a mother distinguish between her children, between the successful and unsuccessful ones? Is she partial to those who are well off, against those who have not done so? A universal mother is one to whom everyone is cordially welcome. The universal mother makes no distinction. Her motherhood is universal. While talking about the universal motherhood of God, particularly with reference to Sarada Devi, I would like to point out that today we all recognize Ramakrishna mission as a world movement. When I was in the Khasi hills of Meghalaya in India, or when I had a dialogue with 4 girls in Delhi Television Center, welcoming all the girls to the studio, I remember I just put a question to all the 4 girls who were present before me. I said, tell me honestly, you know something about Ramakrishna? Well, yes, we know. About Vivekananda, of course we know. About Sarada Devi, not much. The way 150th birth anniversary of Sri Ramakrishna was held throughout the world, and the way Mother's 150th birth anniversary is being celebrated, there is a tremendous difference. Mother has surpassed Sri Ramakrishna. And I tell you in this connection that we could not have this great Ramakrishna movement, great Ramakrishna order, even Ramakrishna himself, but for the sacrifice or self-denial on the part of Sarada Devi. I would like to substantiate what I have just told you. Sri Ramakrishna was married to Sarada Devi. When Sarada Devi grew into an adult girl of say 17 or 18, her friends in the village could tease Sarada Devi, telling, "You are unfortunate that your parents chose a mad person to be your husband." But no chaste wife would encourage such criticism of her husband. Sarada Devi did not believe in all this. She wanted to get the same verified. The Lord was kind. An opportunity came. Sarada Devi's father wanted to come to Calcutta for a dip in the holy river Ganga. He said to his daughter, "I am going to Calcutta. Do you like to accompany me?" And in those days, the girls were very shy. She couldn't tell that, "Yes, I want to go and see my husband, meet my husband." She availed of the opportunity that came with father to Calcutta. And that also gave her an opportunity to meet her husband face to face. When she arrived at Dakshineshwar, the place where Sri Ramakrishna was residing, Sri Ramakrishna received his wife Sarada with all love and affection. Immediately, all the misgivings from the mind of Sarada Devi were dispelled once for all. And she said, "Who says that my husband is a mad person? Such a sweet, loving husband." Sri Ramakrishna not only received his wife most cordially, he even allowed his wife to live in the same room. It is on record for 8 months. But he made one thing very clear on the first night to his wife, divine partner. He said to her, "You know that I am a man of God. I often experience spiritual bliss of samadhi, go into spiritual ecstasy. Now tell me frankly, since I have married you, you have a claim on me as a wife, on your husband. What do you want? Have you come to drag me down to the worldly level? Or you want to help me in my divine mission?" Sarada Devi gave a unique reply, "No, I have not come to drag you down to the worldly level. Allow me to remain with you, to do service to you. I do not want anything else." Referring to this incident, the great noble Lord Ramakrishna said, if Sarada Devi would have given another reply, "No, I don't want your God, your divine mission, I do not know. Since I am your wife, let us live like ordinary husband and wife," where would have been your Ramakrishna? Sri Ramakrishna himself paid great tribute to his wife. Had she not been so pure, who knows that I might not have lost my self-control? So the world could get Sri Ramakrishna because of the self-denial on the part of Sarada Devi. That is something very important, and I wanted to draw your attention to. About universal motherhood. Sri Ramakrishna and Ma Sarada. Let us make a comparative estimate of these two characters. Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna was very selective, very choosy. He would not accept one and all. But mother, a universal mother, as she said, and actually she demonstrated in her day-to-day life, mother of the virtuous, mother of the wicked. I cite two examples. One day, when Sarada Devi was residing in Dakshineshwar Kali Temple, in the concert room, it was one of her duties to prepare food for her husband and carry the food plate herself to Sri Ramakrishna's room. One day, when she was carrying the food plate, one lady of questionable character approached Holy Mother Sarada Devi and said, Mother, every day you take this food plate to your husband. Today, give me this privilege of taking this food plate to your husband. Since Sarada Devi was addressed as Mother, Mother could not refuse. Mother said, yes, okay, you carry the plate. So the lady took the food plate to Sri Ramakrishna's room. Mother also followed that lady. But when Sri Ramakrishna saw that Sarada Devi gave the food plate to that lady, and Sri Ramakrishna could not eat food from anyone whose character was bad, he refused to take food that day. And he was not pleased with what Sarada did that day by favoring, obliging that lady. Sri Mother Sarada Devi could understand everything. He requested his husband, whatever has been done, please take this food. But Sri Ramakrishna said, you know that I cannot eat food from all hands. Since he touched it, this lady, I cannot eat today. Again Sarada Devi requested. Then Thakur Sri Ramakrishna said to his wife, promise me, give me this undertaking, that in future I will never give my food plate to anybody. Sarada Devi, though she was very tradition bound, very shy, she asserted her independent judgment. She said, no, that promise I cannot give, that undertaking I cannot give. If anybody addresses me as mother, I have to oblige. But if you want, I can bring your food every day. But that undertaking I cannot give. Another incident. And this was possible because mother was a universal mother, no ordinary mother. Though Sri Ramakrishna was living in a bedroom and mother's room at very little distance, but Sri Ramakrishna could observe everything. Sri Ramakrishna from his room noticed that another lady whose character was not good would often visit Sarada Devi's room, and this was not liked by Sri Ramakrishna. One day she called Sarada Devi to his room and said that I have noticed that so and so visits you. Why you allow? Again mother asserted herself. I know that she didn't live well, but she has turned over a new leaf. She now prays to God, talks of God. What is the harm if I allow that lady to come to my room? though Sri Ramakrishna did not like, that lady was allowed to frequent Sarada Devi's room. Well, in this connection, I would now like to narrate an incident that happened in Sarada Devi's life. Now I take you from Dakshineshwar Kali temple where Sarada Devi used to live when Sri Ramakrishna was alive. I am now referring to an incident that happened in the life of Sarada Devi after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna. Mother was then living in Bagbajar house, Udbodham. There may be some devotees who have gone there. It was midnight. It was midnight. There was one who was a moral wreck, drunkard, would drink very heavily. His name was Paddo Vinod. It was dead of night. Mother was residing in a room upstairs. In front of mother's house, there was a small lane, slum areas. At midnight, mother heard somebody singing on the lane. And what song he was singing? He was a Bengali. He knew that Sarada Devi was no ordinary woman, divine mother of the universe, divine concept of Bhagavan Ramakrishna. If she would want, she could liberate, redeem anybody, whether one is virtuous, fallen, saint or sinner. And Paddo Vinod was conscious of his frailties, of impurities and imperfections. One night he resolved that today I will go. Let me see how Mother Sarada Devi can refuse shelter to me. Thus he came midnight at about 12 and started singing a song with all devotion, with all emotion. Mother, I know that I am a sinner. And he went there that night under the influence of liquor, but he didn't lose his sense. You have redeemed many. As Mother of the universe, you have come to redeem and liberate particularly the sinners. I have done many sins, but I am now almost reduced to skeleton. See my health. And he sings, "O Mother, get up. Is it proper on your part to sleep when your son outside is standing on the lane, seeking forgiveness and praying refuge at your lotus feet? Please open the door and give me your compassionate glance. Because I lived a very bad life, because I did not walk in the path of righteousness, you being an universal mother, is it appropriate on your part to reject me as an abject sinner? I take your name, O Mother, the embodiment of mercy. I repeatedly seek shelter at your lotus feet. Please open the door and save me." Mother was sleeping in the room. Mother did get up, open the door from the balcony. Balcony is still there. And seeing the compassionate face of Mother, Paddo Vinod, that was the name of that gentleman, he just fell prostrate and did Sastanga Pranam. "O Mother, You are really Karunamui, the incarnation of mercy and compassion. So, when we think of this, we cannot but admire our Divine Mother Sarada Devi. That is why Holy Mother once said, and I quote, "If my child get covers with dirt, I myself have to wash him and take him on my lap." On one occasion, when I was in Belur College, Belur Vidya Mandir, that was my joining center, and Ms. Babanandaji, we told you that this happens to be the 50th year of my monastic life. I was attached to a Swami who was then the principal of that college. His name was Tejashanandaji, the Guru Bhai, the spiritual brother of revered Swami Satprakashananda Maharaj, Raja Maharaj. He was a tapasvi. He worked hard for the Belur College, but he went on leave to Uttarkashi in the Himalayas, and he was doing tapasya for 3 years at a stretch. He himself narrated to me that there was a time in his life when he was facing very bad days. He told me, "Look here, I went to Uttarkashi, and we all had high regard for Swami Tejashanandaji Maharaj. That I was there doing tapasya. I took mantra diksha from Raja Maharaj, Swami Brahmanandaji. But why is it that in spite of my best efforts to live a life of exclusive spiritual practices, I could not achieve the desired goal? Not only that, why is it that in a place far away from the maddening crowd of the city life, some bad thoughts would plague me, assail me?" So Tejashanandaji Maharaj, a monk of great stature, who later became a trustee of the Belur Math, he himself was narrating that I was up against a struggle. That I joined the Ramakrishna mission many years through Diksha from Brahmanandaji, living a life of spiritual practices, living on Madhukari Bhiksha. But why is it that in a kutia, in a cottage, living alone, I found it extremely difficult to ward off all unwelcome, impure thoughts, but I was not successful. Then he thought of Mother Sarada. Mother Sarada said in one place that whenever you are in distress or in difficulty, remember that you have got a mother. Recently, when we celebrated 150th birth anniversary of Ma Sarada in a devotee's house in Delhi, when we were entering the house, the head of the family made it a point to distribute to one and all a photo of mother, with mother saying, "Whenever you are in distress, remember me, remember that you have a mother." So Tejashanandaji Maharaj told me that when he was up against a serious spiritual struggle, or as the Christian mystics tell, the dark night of the soul, who showed the way to enlightenment? He remembered Mother. Mother said, "Think of me, think of me, think of me." When I remembered Mother, to quote Tejashanandaji, and pray to Mother with all my heart, Rishabhanji Maharaj, when he narrated this incident, he would literally weep that I was saved from that period of the dark night of the soul. Mother did reveal herself to him in Uttarkashi, Kutia cottage. Here the vision of the mother with this, don't be worried, everything will be all right. And he was so happy. And because he passed through the dark night of the soul, the mystics say that Lord tests our sincerity through different temptations. If we can persevere, the next stage is a state of enlightenment, a state of illumination. And that illumination, that supreme realization, the Rishabhanji could get because of the infinite grace of Ma Sarada. So Ma Sarada totally transcended all the polarities of life, virtue, vice, good, bad, purity, impurity. I mentioned about the drunkard, I mentioned about that lady of questionable character. Sarada Devi was the fullest manifestation of what is called today mother power. An avatar or avatar of Varishtha of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, while praying to Sri Ramakrishna, said Sri Ramakrishna was not only an incarnation, he was the highest of all the incarnations that ever came. And even Sri Ramakrishna could not accept all. He rejected many, but Mother accepted one and all. One of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Premanandaji or Baburam Maharaj, once said, the poison which we could not digest, we are sending to Mother. Mother was ever ready to take anyone into her own lap. When Sri Ramakrishna was alive, Sarada Devi did not want to come to the limelight. She was always in the background, just cooking food and serving her husband. But after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, Mother played a different role altogether. For example, when Sri Ramakrishna passed away, 1886, the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Narendranath, who later became Vivekananda, Brahmananda and all that, they were seized with tremendous thirst for the spirit of renunciation, dispassion. Now that our Master is no more, let us go to different directions as wandering monks. This did not satisfy Holy Mother Sarada Devi. It is on record that Holy Mother Sarada Devi went to Bodh Gaya and visited a Buddhist monastery, she found affluence in that monastery. There were days in Belur Math, if you go through the history of Ramakrishna Math and Mission, Baranagar Math, that they had practically nothing to eat. And those days have changed now. We have much money and prosperity, no doubt. But Mother was talking of those days that his son, Thakur's beloved children, would not stay together, and we went to Bodh Gaya. With tears in eyes, he prayed to Sri Ramakrishna, O Thakur, I do not want that those who will leave home for your sake, I want that they should be banded together, they should live in a place, they should preach your gospel, worldly people would come and get peace as you are doing. I found today many devotees here, good tradition. By way of digression, this impressed me. They rearranged the verses flower festival with flowers and big silent meditation. This is good because you want peace, and that is why you come to monks and all that. So Mother prayed that those who leave home in your name, they should be banded together, they should not suffer for a morsel of food, bare necessities of life and shelter. As a result of continuous prayers which welled up from the innermost bottom of the Divine Mother Sarada Devi, Ramakrishna order was uttered into existence. And when Swami Vivekananda came back to India after his historic conquest of the West in 1897, Swami Vivekananda called a meeting. He did not forget. You should know the history. He did not forget the household and devotees. Because you don't earn money, how can any center be run unless you come with contributions? So when he convened a meeting to start association in the name of Ramakrishna, he remembered all the household and devotees. So the joint meeting was conceived in Bagbajar, Calcutta, in Balaram Bosu's house. And Swamiji said that in the name of Sri Ramakrishna to propagate his message, we are going to form. But he did not forget the great contribution that was being silently made by Holy Mother Sarada Devi. Thakur passed away in 1886. Mother Sarada Devi lived up to 1920. So she did get a silent part regarding the development of this monastic order. And there in the meeting, Swamiji said that at the helm of affairs of this Ramakrishna mission, there will be Mother, and she said Mother is Sangha Janani. Sangha means order and organization. Janani means mother. She is our mother. So because of the silent prayers of Mother at Bodhgaya Monastery, this Ramakrishna mission came into existence. That also we should remember. Now Mother's all-embracing love and compassion was not confined to the people of India alone. Incidentally, let me tell you, though my visit to this center is very brief, that I wish I could have stayed longer here. I was going through some writings of the founder president of this center, most revered Sadhguru, how he came to the West and all that. And there he made a significant statement, and I quote, "We are monks. We have left home. Who is our all in all? Only God, Sri Ramakrishna." As Swamiji said, what is India or America to you? We do not belong to any particular country. Excellent. The Mother's love was not confined to India alone. Devotees know that one of the biggest festivals in Bengal is Durga Puja. Perhaps some of you come, most Bengalis come, I know, Mother's photo is decorated and all that. So when Sarada Devi was alive, in her village Jairambati, Holy Mother's relatives, nieces and all that, they wanted some new garments, puja garments, gift. And there was a brahmachari, white-skinned brahmachari. He had patriotic feelings. Remember, those days we are under the British rulers. We are not a free nation. And many had patriotic feelings. Mother's relatives wanted fine garments, fine. And fine garments in those days were available from England. But this brahmachari who was sent to purchase, why? We are under their rule. Nothing to do with any garments produced from England, from Bilal. Whatever is available in India, it may be coarse, it may be poor quality. So he had patriotic feeling that brahmachari exercised her own judgment, though wrong judgment, and brought inferior quality of garments. But mother's relatives, they refused. Nothing to do with this poor quality. They said, why should I purchase? We are under the British imperialist rulers. Nothing to do. Backward. And there was heated argument. Brahmachari one side, mother's relative nieces, and the mother had to give the verdict. Mother was very, very modern. Mother was a progressive outlook. Mother could realize the sentiments of her relatives' puja, they will not be satisfied. Mother rejected the decision of that brahmachari and said, well, I cannot refuse to go and purchase. The British too are my children. The British too are my children. Then about Western disciples. In those days, even if anybody would go to England and other places, we are so caste-ridden that they will be boycott. Oh, we are done, nothing to do. You will be surprised to know the great Swami Vivekananda, who sat at the feet of his future master Sri Ramakrishna for days together at Dakshineshwar Kalibadi. When Sri Ram Vivekananda came from the west, he was not allowed entry into the Kalibadi. What nonsense! Yes, fact. These are all historical facts. So when Swamiji came with his Western disciples, say MacLeod, Oliver, Sister Christine, Sister Nivedita, Swamiji had some doubts. Will Mother accept them? Or how Mother will behave to them? Mother, the tradition found excellent, all universal Mother. Not only Mother received them warmly, Oliver, Nivedita, MacLeod, Sister Christine and others. Mother took food with them. And referring to this incident, Swami Vivekananda wrote to somebody, is it not something grand that Mother not only accorded cordial welcome to them, but took food with them? That is something extraordinary. Holy Mother's universal love was not restricted to human beings alone. Mother could not bear to see even a cat ill-treated. In Jairambati there was a cat, and it is the nature of a cat, even if you give milk, even if you keep milk separately, it will be the nature to eat stealthily from the kitchen. But there are brahmacharis, foolish brahmacharis, whenever they would find eating and you beat. Once Mother was going to Calcutta from Jairambati. Mother cautioned the brahmachari. His name was Gyan. Mother said, Gyan, look Gyan, don't beat the cat. I dwell in the cat also. Don't beat the cat. That is also something extraordinary. Now I come to Mother's visit to South India. Ramakrishna Nandaji invited Mother. Mother went to Rameshwar Shiva Temple, Chennai, came to Bangalore. And one day from Bangalore, when Mother went to different temples, when he came back from his visit to the different temples, he found the temple courtyard filled with innumerable devotees. But Mother, as you know, she couldn't go to school and language difficulty. Mother wondered why so many people have come. And one attendant Swami, who later became the president of the order, Swami Vishuddhanandaji Maharaj. Mother took the help of Vishuddhanandaji, and Mother said, please tell these innumerable devotees who have gathered in the ashram premises that I cannot speak their language. I feel very bad that I cannot communicate with them. And then they said, all the devotees said, no, this is all right. Our hearts are full, no words and this is details. No, language of the heart is more important than so-called language of the tongue. Our hearts are full. The communication barrier between Ma and her children broke down completely through the universal language of the heart, of the universal heart, as Sarada Devi was. Well, there may be occasions when we find it difficult to arrive at a decision. I conclude my talk on universal motherhood by drawing your attention that we all may be in difficulty sometimes. Whenever we will have some difficulties, we should remember that we have got a universal mother. And as mother said, think of me, our problems will be solved. There was a devotee in India, in Shillong, who took Diksha from Holy Mother Sarada Devi. He was from Sylhet. One day when he was coming from office, he found his house was on fire. Foolishly, he wanted to take the help of some people. There was no fire brigade then, and he got it burned. And his face was completely changed. He was sad, but not that face, marks of the burned face. And then his friends would say, why you took the trouble of going inside the fire to get it extinguished, and you have got these marks. And they would criticize. He had such a handsome face, and he would feel very bad. But he was a disciple of Mother Sarada Devi. One day, during meditation, he unloaded his agony to Mother. He says, happened to my name, what am I to do? Then Mother appeared to that devotee and said, you will be all right, you will get back your normal face. Go to such and such river on such and such day and take a bath, and you will get back your normal face as you had before. Unfortunately, this devotee divulged this to his friends, that I had a vision of the Mother, and Mother gave this assurance. Then he thought, already I have got these marks in my face, and if what I say does not come true, I will be miserable. Anyway, he had faith in the direction that was given by Holy Mother, her Guru, on a particular date. He took his bath without taking anything, complete fasting. They went to a particular river, and it is on record, it came in some magazines. When he took his bath, came back, he was astonished to see that completely changed. Remember, there are many occasions, even Swami Virojanandaji's Maharaj, the great Virojananda, who was my Guru, who was the sixth president, with that I am concluding. After the passing away of Swami Vivekananda, Virojanandaji got himself engaged in tremendous spiritual practices. Every day he will do 1,10,000 samadhi meditation, told upon his nerves, and his head would always reel. Swami Brahmananda was the president. He asked him to come down to Belur. He arranged for all treatments, allopathic, homeopathic, Kabiraji, all in vain. Then Virojanandaji went to Jairambati. It is recorded in the book, The Story of an Epoch by Swami Shraddhanandaji. When he went to Holy Mother Sarada Devi, Mother looked at him and said, Brahman, my son, you had such a good, healthy body, and you look so emaciated. What has happened to you? Why do you meditate? He said, Ma, I meditate here. Son, that is the last stage. When I gave Diksha, I told you you should meditate here in the heart. So this single instruction of Mother saved his life. From then onwards, he again started meditating here and he was completely cured. In later life, he used to say, had I not got the simple instruction of Mother, I would have ended my life as a deranged person. And the same Virojanandaji became Guru of thousands of people. May the Divine Mother Sarada Devi bless us all. Once again, my sincere thanks and gratitude to Vishwaparanandaji, and I request him to convey my sincere feelings to Brother Chetananandaji when he will come here, and I will sit there in the library room I was asked. And as and when you come to Delhi, please visit our center, is in Pachkriya. May Mother bless us all. Thank you.
Yo Shantihi Antariksham Shantihi Prithvi Shantihi Oshadhaya Shantihi Vanaspataya Shantihi Vishvedeva Shantihi Brahma Shantihi Saranam Shantihi Shantireva Shantihi Sama Shantirevi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be peace in the waters. May there be peace in the interspace. May there be peace on earth. May there be peace among the plants, trees, and herbs. May there be peace among the cosmic beings. May there be peace in the all-pervading spiritual reality. May there be all-pervading peace. May that peace come unto each